Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Quest Show. How's your week? Are you guys watching the playoffs? Are you enjoying the great weather? We have finally started to get into the 70s here in Massachusetts, so that's fun. We are still getting rain on Saturdays. I feel like we get rain just about every single Saturdays. But other than that, I am here. Last week I needed a little break, and I'm sure that you guys need a little break too because it's just been a lot, right? Like these 100 days have felt like 100 years. Like anyone else feeling that kind of way? Because I am. But before we get into all of these notes that I have taken, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to this video, please. You can also catch me on Tuesdays with Brian Rundo on the Black and White Show at 7 p.m. He's a little more organized than I am. I just show up and he's just very organized. I, on the other hand, I ramble a lot. So if you don't like ramblers, you're not going to like me. I can't read my notes half the time either. So if you like order, I'm not for you. If you just want to hear what's going on for the week, I gotcha. I gotcha. So anyway, let's just jump right in. A lot happened, so I just don't have the time or the capacity to talk about every single thing. Like that's how crazy it is all the time. So I guess maybe we'll just focus on like the first 100 days of his stupid executive orders and all the other nonsense, like the big ticket items, if you will allow me to call them. So the first 100 days, how are you guys feeling about it? So I wrote down some things that I felt that happened in the first 100 days. Add some things in the chat if if I'm missing something. So let's start. The first 100 days, some of it was like his last administration in his last 100 days. So it's going to be very similar. You got to have the racism. So there's racism, bigotry, anti-Semitism, corruption. I mean, because what's a Trump administration without corruption? Like, clown makeup, grifting, chaos, destruction, dumb executive orders in the first 100 days, of course. There's bullying, the attack on the Constitution, first 100 days, fascism, dictatorship. I mean, again, he told us this is what he was going to do on day one. So that should definitely not be a surprise. Kidnapping. He has added that to his list of things to do. The kidnapping part. I'm sorry. My vacuum just turned on and I'm trying to get to it before it comes in here because I can hear it coming. So kidnapping, we're adding that to his first 100 days. Attack of freedom of speech, of course. Firing American workers, he did that in the first 100 days. He's ignored your kitchen table issues. That has happened since day one. Unqualified people running the government since day one. I mean, I guess Rubio is someone who's qualified, but honestly, if you're just there to kiss someone's ass and lick their boots, I'm just going to go on and call you unqualified because even if you're qualified, you're not going to use your qualifications. You're going to do what he tells you to do. So he can go into that basket as well. So unqualified people running the government. Let's see. For 100 days, we have had a felon in the White House. for 100 days, we've had someone found liable of sexual assault, also known as rape. Let's see, what else happened? Oh, yeah, the first 100 days, the guy that had top secret documents in his bathroom at Mar-a-Lago is in the White House. I mean, hey, but there was some good news. Canada got it right. Canada got it right and elected the Liberal Party. So I am happy about that. So kudos to Canada. They looked at what's going on over here and they're like, you know what? We want none of that. Also, we offended them. So, yeah, of course that was going to happen. So kudos to Canada for, again, getting it right. Let's see. Let's listen to what Hakeem Jeffries has to say about the first 100 days. I know that everyone out there, you don't like Hakeem Jeffries. Like, I read a lot of comments about him today. I forgot what the original post was about him. But I'm like, what did Hakeem Jeffries ever do to you guys? It's like, it's so interesting how we never give Democrats like a chance. Like, there's just really never a fighting chance. Also, I feel like, especially with people of color in the party, we really don't give them chances, right? Like, just right away, he's not doing what he's supposed to do. He's gone. Because I feel like a lot of people expect, because he is a Black man, that he is supposed to present in a certain way. Hakeem Jeffries is not exciting. He doesn't speak exciting. He's not going to get a crowd fired up, right? And I think, my community knows better, but I think when people see him, they're like, oh yeah, this Black man, he's about to tear it up. And then he goes into his, how Hakeem Jeffries speaks, and people are like, bah, bah, bah. So let's just say this. Hakeem Jeffries, he has a role. As all of them have a role. Jasmine Crockett has a role. Her role is the fire starter. She don't take no mess. She doesn't suffer any fools. That is her job, to get on there and just boom in your face. Hakeem is not in your face. And if he did, it would look fake and it would look weird. So let's temper our expectations for who they are. You know what I mean? And we also have to stop saying that they're not hearing us and they're not doing enough, because I also want to remind everyone that it is 100 days. I know it feels like 100 years, 1,000 years, like it just feels like eons has passed, but it's only 100 days. Like, there is so many levels to this, and the lies that just come at you on a daily basis, it's hard to catch all of those and just be calm. You have people like, they gotta talk about the economy. Why aren't they talking about Kilmar in El Salvador? Why aren't they talking about human rights? Why aren't they talking about the kitchen table issues? Why aren't they talking about the signal chat? Why? Like, it's like a constant why, right? Like, I want to remind people too that if this is a thing, Kamala barely lost. I mean, I know a loser is a loser. It is what it is. But she barely lost, meaning she almost won, and she had a shorter runway. She had 100 days, right, to get this together, to introduce herself to the world. But she came so close to him, who had been running for years and years and years. So I would just say, I don't think that Democrats have to change it too much, right? Like, I really think that if she just had more time, that she could have gotten there. But 100 days versus somebody who had been running for years, I mean, come on, let's Let's make it make a little bit of sense and cut them some slack. I mean, I too get caught up in it. Like, why aren't I seeing Democrats? And I kind of do, right? Like I saw Wes Moore was on The View. Who knew, right? Like, who knew? I guess the people who watch The View, I don't watch The View, so good thing it just came across my feed. So they are out there. The governors are out there. They're all out there, doing their damnedest and also working their job because they also have a job, right? So, like, we want them to get out there and to be seen and do these TikTok videos and get on all these shows. But they also have a job in DC that they have to do. So there's a lot going on because we're comparing it to Republicans. Hey, baby Juggernaut, who don't work. They don't have anything to do. All they have to do is yes to their orange daddy. That is their job. All of them, same page. Trump just owns all of the networks and tells them what to say. So it's just a little different. And I just think that we as Democrats have to be a little patient 100 days in. But let's let Hakeem Jeffries, right, explain how he feels about the first 100 days.
Referred to its strategy
let me go back.
spent yesterday bragging about the speed with which they've moved during these first 100 days. They're right. Never has a president failed so spectacularly, so often, so quickly as Donald Trump. The White House referred to its strategy for the first 100 days as shock and awe. Well, they're half right. It is shocking how rapidly this administration collapsed into chaos, cruelty, and corruption. It's shocking how quickly MAGA Republicans turned their backs on working-class Americans. It is shocking how spineless Republicans have been in the United States Congress. And it is shocking and tragic and infuriating how much damage Donald Trump and the Republican Party's policies have already done. Here's the thing. They expected us to step back, but the American people are here to fight back.
And that's the thing, right? We want to push our Democratic lawmakers, which we should. Don't get me wrong. We should push them because they work for us, right? They need to do what they need to do to combat this, which they don't have a lot that they can do, right? Other than get loud, go on these shows as well. My only criticism would be, I think that they should expand a little more on the shows that they're on. And I'm glad that I saw Wes Moore on, my vacuum cleaner, on The View. I know that Pete Buttigieg has been on Not So Democrat Nice podcast. I can't remember the name. So kudos to him. And he will go on Fox News. So, and I did see another lawmaker go on Fox News. So I think like more who can, because every Democrat is not going to be able to go on a Fox News or on one of these podcasts that's not friendly to us. Everyone doesn't have that skill, but those that have the skill definitely need to go there and expand and be able to explain and get a MAGA audience. And maybe in that MAGA audience, you can exclude the hardcore ones because the hardcore ones are just stupid. They don't care. They really are brainwashed. They don't care about policy or politics. They don't care if their Social Security is drained or if they have nothing in their refrigerator. They don't care. As long as their orange daddy sends them that bulk email that they get and they think it's from him, they're okay. So speaking of their orange daddy, the orange daddy went to Michigan to celebrate his 100 days. I almost said 100 years because it feels like that. And I forgot to mention, in the 100 days, how Biden handed off, like, here, take care of my baby. Here's the economy. Unemployment is down. Jobs are up. They're growing. The economy is growing. The stock market is doing great. Inflation is finally coming down. And maybe the Feds will lower the interest rate. We're almost there. Trump comes in, and on his 100 days in office, the government has shrunk. Who knew? We knew. That's who knew. We knew that he was going to fuck up the government. Of course he was. He's been screaming tariffs forever. Tariffs. What a wonderful word. I made that word up. It's a word that I use. It's the tariffs. Like, he has been saying he was going to do it forever. He has done it. The market is volatile. No one knows what he's going to do because Big Daddy, he'll throw something out there, then he'll change his mind because he's afraid. He'll act like, I talked to China, but he didn't talk to China. So nobody knows what's going on. Do we buy this shit for our business or do we not buy this shit for our business? If we have these containers coming in, what do we charge? Is there going to be tariffs? How much of the tariffs? He keeps changing. I don't know. My business is fucked, right? That's what's going on right now. So at this point, the economy has shrunk because he's just fucked it up. However, his MAGA cronies, they don't believe it. Why don't they believe it? Because he fucking goes and he lies. Let's check it out.
They do it they're morally bad. They do it they're morally bad. You know what the answer is?
I don't know what that was, and I cannot interpret it. So if you can interpret what he just said, drop it in the chat. But let's just go on.
If you don't get it, you're going to have the highest tax increase in history instead of the greatest tax cut in history. If the Democrats prevail on this bill, you get a 58% tax increase.
Pause. Lies. And I forgot to mention this. The economy has shrunk. The market is down. Is utter chaos by design, right? Because of course he wants chaos here so he can grift and sell his Bitcoin and have his son open up some club, the executive branch in DC, and charge like $500,000 memberships, right? Where is that money going? There's no conflict there. I mean, they talked about Hunter, and Hunter did nothing in Ukraine, but here this guy can open up a restaurant, Don Jr., and charge $500,000 a membership, and nothing to see there. So that's going on over here. Oh, and the golf course where? In Qatar or somewhere? Yeah, or Qatar. I can't remember how to pronounce that. I apologize. I know it's one of those. Yeah, so the golf course over there, but again, nothing to see. He doesn't want you to talk about that. So he's chaos over here with him having all of the government. And this is the funny thing. He's in Michigan talking about if the Democrats don't pass this bill or whatever, then your taxes are going to go up. The Democrats are not the majority. The Democrats are not the majority. We don't have the House. We don't have the Senate. We don't have the presidency. We don't have the Supreme Court. We don't have nothing. But he's here telling MAGA that the Democrats' plan is to raise taxes by 58%. Where he got that, I don't fucking know. And it doesn't even make sense. Because if we want to be truthful about it, every fucking safety net there is because of Democrats. Y'all motherfuckers drinking clean waters because a Democrat went to the EPA and had a bill that water has to be blah, blah, blah. Like, it's because of Democrats that you are breathing fresh air right now. So the same people you think are going to be like, you know what? Yeah, I think we're not going to fight for Social Security to be, whole. We're not going to fight, and we're just going to let them take your Medicaid and your Social Security and your Medicare, and we're going to raise your taxes 50. That doesn't even sound right. Like, it doesn't even sound right. It sounds fucking stupid, because we heard the black lady, Kamala, we heard Biden and all the rest of the Democrats say, tax the rich, tax cuts for the middle class. That's not what Trump wants to do. We've seen Trump on video telling rich people that they are getting tax cuts. What does that mean? Oh my God, MAGA is just, I can't even believe the stupidity.
Would you like that? These are the Democrats.
These are the Democrats that want to raise your tax. Like, where? Find it. Like, and then here's the other piece. All they have to do is be like, do they? Let me Google that. Ask Grok. You're not going to find it because no Democrat has proposed it. They haven't even proposed raising the wealthy taxes by 58%. Stop playing right now. It doesn't even make any sense. But MAGA cheering, out there cheering for him to have a third term. Meanwhile, the price of your goods are going up. That's how crazy MAGA is. Price of goods are going up. So it's funny. He just said, Democrats are going to raise your taxes by 58%. Those are the bad guys. So now let's listen to what he's actually doing. You're right, baby. No MAGA is willing to research the bullshit coming out of his mouth. MAGA will never. That's why they don't like books. They don't like to read. So let's listen to what the truth is.
Much of it we don't need. Somebody said, oh, the shelves and this stuff. Much of it we don't need. Somebody said, oh, the shelves are going to be open. Well,
so this is about his tariffs, right? So much of the goods, we don't need them. So like if the shelves aren't stocked, who cares? If the ports are empty, who cares? We don't need all of this stuff, right? Why don't we need it? Why? Tell us.
Maybe the children will have $2 instead of $30, and maybe the $2.
And then they laugh in the background. They laugh in the background about this.
It will cost a couple of bucks more than they would normally, but we're not talking about something that we have to go out of our way. They have ships that are loaded up with stuff, much of which, not all of it, but much of which we don't need.
The truth is in the dirty details. Because there's a lie there, right? The ships are loaded up. They're not loaded up. They're not. Because I just explained to you, there are businesses that are sending things back, right? There are businesses that are not ordering anything. These tariffs, right? So he's trying to have it both ways. On one end, he's trying to say, oh no, there's so much coming in, so much that we just don't even need. So if it's not full, or if you don't see the ports having a lot of goods, we didn't need it anyway. But then on the flip side, if you did need it, it's okay. You can deal with it. Perhaps your kid only gets $2 instead of $30. Ha ha ha. Right? Because why? We're not getting plastic, or because we're in a trade war with China? So we're not getting dolls because China makes the dolls. China makes a lot more things than just dolls. China makes a lot of things that our businesses depend on and need. Also, so he's saying you may not have $30 because the supply will be depleted. We won't have any supply. So you have to do it the $2. But he also said that the $2 will cost more money. I mean, this is not rocket science. Like, that sounds like recession. That sounds like there's only a few things on the shelves and the price of those few things are going to be so high, we're not going to be able to get it, or we're going to be fighting for it. Like, that's insane. That is a recession. Oh, I'm sorry. There's not that much insulin left. Maybe your kid could have half a dose instead of the full dose. I know you need that high blood pressure medication, but cut that pill in half instead of taking the full dose, because, yeah, I know. You don't really need that stuff anyway. Don't worry about it. Like, this is where he doesn't care, nonchalant about it. And then the people in the background, they laugh. Like, what's funny about this? Like, what's fucking funny about any of this? Anyway, let's keep going. I'm sorry, we're talking about tariffs because this has just really been monopolizing the 100 days. And it's crazy because as we've discussed, MAGA have no idea what they're talking about. Just no idea. They're like, yeah, we'll deal with the pain because he says so. Like, he's not having any pain. If his fucking grandkids needed a doll, he's going to buy the fucking doll from China. He's going to buy $30, $40, $50. You saw him got 40,000 eggs for Easter while everyone else is like, I can't afford eggs. Did he take them eggs and give them out? Did he give them to homeless shelters? He had 40,000 of them. Did he give them to a woman's shelter so their kids could have eggs? No, he fucking wasted them. Anyway, let's listen to Queen Z here. She's going to tell us, she's a MAGA, and she will tell us exactly how these tariffs work. And she's just brilliant. MAGA.
Went bye-bye.
Is that right, Queensy?
It would help our economy in the end. I hate to break it to everyone, but you guys do know that this whole economic is on purpose, right? Because it would help our economy in the end. You know this, right? Because I'm seeing so much misinformation on it. They have to do this in order to eventually lower the prices of things. That's
so we break our economy to lower the prices of things. Like, that's just the exact opposite. When you break the economy, the price of things go up. Quincy, where were you during the pandemic? Toilet tissue, Lysol, cleaning products, snacks, nothing was on the shelves. Everything was sky high. Just saying, Queensy.
It's kind of just how it works, and you have to do this because there's literally no dinero left for anyone because...
No dinero. I love how they use those terms, but they hate the brown people, but I digress.
Last 4 years went bye-bye.
Is that right, Queensy? Okay, let me see if I heard this correctly. So Trump is doing a terrible job at running the economy, or as you would put it, right? Just a miserable job. And you admit that, which is hilarious. But you say it's not what you think, okay? It's all part of Trump's secret plan for all of us to be better off later. And Queensy, you say that we have to do it this way. We have to run the economy into a ditch because there's no more dinero. Okay, it has all gone.
Like, where does she think the money went? She said there's no more money. Like, what does that mean? There's no more money. It's just like zero money in the government. Like, it's just, oh my God.
On bye-bye. Queensy, are you sure that you watched more than one YouTube video about this topic?
He did not.
Because it doesn't really seem like you have. So let me help you out here, okay, Queensy? The theory that you guys have to cope with why Trump is so bad at this is that if Trump can make the economy suck really bad, then the Federal Reserve will lower interest rates, and then we can refinance our debt at a lower rate and save a bunch of money. That's the general idea, Queensy, but as usual, it relies.
So what he's saying and what MAGA believe is that all this ruining the government and these tariffs and everything is so that we can refinance our debt. So if we are in debt by $36 trillion, they believe that he can get the debt down. But that's just not how it works, because we're indebted to different countries that we're borrowing from, different, like, that debt is the debt. It just does not change. You can't refinance it. Like, you can't do any of those things. So that's untrue.
Entirely on the fact that Trump supporters have no fucking clue how anything works. Like this 36 trillion that we have in debt, it's not like a mortgage that we could just refinance and get a lower rate. This 36 trillion is made up of thousands of treasury bonds and treasury bills that are essentially loans that we've taken out over the years. Some are short-term, some are long-term, but all of them have their own interest rates that we cannot refinance. So if Trump crashed the economy to get better interest rates on the debt, he would only be able to get those rates on future debt. He would not be able to refinance the 36 trillion. So you guys are telling us you want to crash the economy, wipe out every grandmother's retirement plan, skyrocketing unemployment, houses foreclosing. Also, you can save a little bit of money on the interest rate on future debt until the economy gets better and the rates go back up. It's just a bad plan, Queensy. This is a terrible idea. And that is why 9 out of 10 dentists agree that every economist that ever existed would not agree that crashing the economy on purpose is a good plan, Queensy. They'd probably tell you it's sort of like slashing.
But that's MAGA. It's MAGA. It's even hard to talk about it because you don't understand what they don't understand. Like, it's just like they just don't want to understand. They just don't care. It's just like they just don't care. They really are the dumbest electorate out there. Like, it's just insane to me. But that's where we are with that electorate. What are we going to talk about now? Let's see. Maybe check the notes. Deportations is still happening. It's just awful. So I believe it was this week, or it could have been last week. I don't know. A lot of things happened very quickly. They have now deported U.S. citizen children. Yeah, I'll say it again. They have deported American children. One with stage 4 cancer. He's deported without his medication. They deported children that have an American father so they could deport the mom. Like, it's not even like we're deporting the mom because she's a criminal. We're just deporting people who we can just deport. Like, that's literally what they're doing. It's like they just want the shock and awe. They want to get the numbers up, right? Because they're not looking for gang members. Like, they're not looking for gang members. They're just not. We don't even know if that first batch of people that they sent to that El Salvadorian prison and said that they were notorious gang members and, like, you know, had that edited video of them going in there and shaving their heads. We know that there's like 70% of them that have no criminal record. Then we know that the other have minor infractions. So, like, where are the notorious gang members? Like, where are they? Well, what is happening here? way. They're not even proving. Like, if you had the big kingpin of the MS-13, if you caught him, or if you caught his soldiers and you're about to deport him, you would have him on TV. You would really want him in court. You would want to read all of those charges of what he did: rape, murder, blah, 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 blah. That's what you would do, right? But he's not doing that. So you got to think like, no, something's wrong here. This is for stunts and shows and shock and awe. You're deporting American kids? Like the mom wanted to take, her child with her. Like, did you give her a choice? Was she able to talk? There was one woman, they let her speak to her husband for all of a few seconds. And when he tried to give her the phone number of an attorney, they hung up the phone. And then I guess they figured they'd make a legal binding contract by having her scribble on a piece of paper that she will take her child. Like, what is this? This is where we're at? We're deporting American children? But on the flip side, we're like, hey, white ladies, we're going to give you a bonus if you make us some babies, right? Because, we feel like you've lost the Christianity, and Christianity needs you to make more babies. So this is Mike Johnson. Now they're saying that they want to pay women to have babies. White women. They don't want no black babies. They don't want no brown babies. They don't want no babies of color. Stop playing right now. They want to pay women for babies, but they don't want to fund postpartum treatment. They don't want to help feed the babies. Like, they don't want to do any of that shit. Just make the baby. Like, it's just cruel. It's just like this power, control women, control who gets to stay. Like, it all sounds familiar. Control who is American, who gets to stay here, who doesn't get to stay here. They broke into this Oklahoma woman's family. Their family moved from Maryland to Oklahoma. They are American citizens. Oh, you want to see what happened to them? Because we're taking only the criminals, remember? Like, that was his campaign speech. The criminals, the worst of the worst. Let's see the worst of the worst. Let's hear about it.
Pure disbelief.
This one's going to be a little long. I apologize.
Into their home as they were sleeping and took almost everything they own. Problem is, they were not the people agents were supposed to be looking for.
News 4's Spencer Humphrey is here with their frightening ordeal. Spencer, what's going on here?
Yeah, well, get this. That family just moved here about 2 weeks ago from out of state, and this is how their life in Oklahoma got started. They say they told federal immigration agents they had the wrong people, but those agents kept treating them like criminals, even though they're all U.S. citizens. Fear.
I did feel at times I felt I was gonna die.
So much fear.
I kept praying. I said, God, please let me live through this moment.
Humiliation.
I was a
American citizens.
I was nothing.
Pure disbelief.
I just couldn't understand, how is this happening to us?
All just for wanting a fresh start.
You come to Oklahoma and you get treated like this. For what?
This woman, who we're calling Marissa, and her 3 daughters came to Oklahoma from Maryland looking for a slower, more affordable pace of life. They rented this house in a nice, seemingly safe northwest Oklahoma City neighborhood. Her husband planned to join them this past weekend, but any semblance they had of comfort went out the window when 20 men armed to the teeth busted through it.
20 men, a woman, and her 3 daughters.
Thursday morning.
I don't know who they were. They had guns. It was dark. All the lights were off.
They were federal agents, Marissa says, with the U.S. Marshals, ICE, and the FBI.
And I kept asking them, like, who are you? What are you doing here? What's happening? And they said, we have a warrant for the house.
They ordered Marissa and her daughters outside in
A warrant for the house. The fuck does that even mean? What is a warrant for the house?
into the rain before they could even get dressed.
They wanted me to change in front of all of them, in between all of them.
The thing is, the suspect names on that search warrant were not Marissa's or anyone in her family's. They were, however, names listed on mail still arriving at the house. Former residents, perhaps.
We just moved here from Maryland. We're citizens. That's what I kept saying. We're citizens.
She says they didn't care.
We weren't criminals. Then why were they treating us like criminals? We were here by ourselves. That we didn't do anything.
The agents ripped apart every square inch of the house, taking their phones, laptops, documents, and their life savings in cash as evidence.
Like, I have to feed my children. I'm gonna need gas money. I need to be able to get around. Like, how do you just leave me like this, like an abandoned dog?
When they left, they told her something.
I know it was a little rough this morning. It was so denigrating. Like, you do all of this to a family, to women, your fellow citizens, and it was a little rough. You have literally traumatized me and my daughters for life.
This family has virtually nothing.
And I said, when are we gonna get our stuff back? He was like, it could be days or it can be months.
Nothing but questions.
Well, what if I would have been armed? What if you're breaking in? What am I supposed to think? My initial thought is we were being robbed. My female daughters being kidnapped.
Nothing but likely lifelong trauma.
We have guns pointed at our faces. Can you just reprogram yourself and see us as humans, as women, a little bit of mercy, and care a little bit about your fellow human mate, about your fellow citizen, like fellow resident. We bleed too. We bleed just like anybody else.
They took this woman and her daughters outside in the rain in their underwear. They took their phones, they took their laptops, they took all of their money. They left them a sheet of paper with inventory of the things that they took, and it was like laptop, cell phone, US currency. So they didn't even put the amount of US currency. So guarantee she will not get all of her money. There are going to be a lot of lawsuits. It's unfortunate that nothing's going to happen until this man leaves office or leaves this earth. It's just pretty disgusting. They're US citizens. And then when you call ICE for information, they give you none. They don't answer. Like, it's like she's right. They just left her like an abandoned animal because they don't care. You know why they don't care? Because right now, those ICE agents are getting like a bonus. So whatever money that the government is getting from who knows what, I don't know, the tariffs, but I don't know. They're giving them money. They're getting extra money. It's an incentive, right? Like, it's an incentive, shock and awe. They don't care about criminals. They want this. This is the thing that this is what they want. And while we were talking about Project 2025 before the election, we were saying that he was going to use the insurrection-like folks to do his dirty work. And this really is what it is, because I also heard that all of these people were not ICE agents, right? Like, ICE was trying to put it on someone else that it was not ICE. So that's why sometimes when you see a lot of these videos, they're not even showing ID. They don't have on anything that says ICE. They're not even saying who they are. They're just kidnapping people and making them disappear. This is like literally, this is where we are. You could just walk down the street and someone can just pick you up and put you in a car. And then if you fight back, you may get hurt, injured, or killed, but then you also don't know, is this really an ICE agent or am I being kidnapped by a lunatic, especially a woman? You put her outside with her kids in their underwear? What heinous shit is this? But this is what you would expect from Donald Trump and this Nazi regime. This is what you would expect. They don't care. They don't care about American citizens. They don't care about anything. They are self-serving. They are self-dealing. And Republicans have just conceded all of the power. Here, just take it all. We don't care. They don't even want to run government. They don't care to run government. They just do what Trump says. And now we see that today they moved Walls, the guy in the middle of the Signal controversy, that, added the journalist to the Signal chat. He is now the ambassador to the UN, whatever that means, right? It's like supposed to be a promotion because you have to be go in front of the Senate and they have to approve you. Senate confirmation. But yeah, Trump ain't dealing with the UN like that. So that's definitely not a promotion. It's almost like, he just wants to get rid of him because he doesn't really trust him anymore. So he doesn't want him in the circle. So he's outside of the circle. And he really didn't want to totally get rid of him because then that would cause so much talking and a whole news cycle. So here, go deal with the UN. So now apparently Marco Rubio is going to be interim some shit. Like, I don't know. They're saying Marco Rubio has like 4 jobs. I didn't even know he was like director of the friggin' National Archive or some shit. He's like the Secretary of State. Now he's going to be doing Walz's job. Like, what the heck? But that just goes to show you Trump is running out of sycophants, right? So like he really can't afford to fire anyone because he has to keep his circle so tight. And if this circle is so tight, and if only his sycophants are working for him, who are unqualified, and you have them doing 1, 2, 3, 4 jobs. I mean, who knows what Bondi is doing over there with the Department of Justice because she's on Fox News every night. So who's watching? Who's watching the justice system? The Department of Defense. There's nobody there because Hegseth has fired everyone. He stays in his makeup room with his friggin' alcohol. We're just sleep at the wheel. America, we're like ripe to be attacked. Like we are ripe, and it is going to happen. Yeah, like if I was an adversary, I would just keep waiting, and then I would attack because there's so many holes here. And then there was reporting before I came on that in Trump's cabinet meeting, they had a picture of Walz's phone. And Signal was opened again. And you can read some of the words. So like these people, they do what the fuck they want to do. And all of us, our lives are in jeopardy. But again, there are people here that say it and speak it better than I am. So let's let this brother here talk about, especially this Michigan rally, because that Michigan rally was funny. I know. I told you I ramble and I go back and forth. I told you that. I warned you in the beginning. So like if you don't like rambling and if you like people to stay on point, that ain't me. So back to the Michigan rally, Trump started talking about like the water thing, because remember before he was elected, it was like there was Hannibal Lecter. He talked about a lot. He talked about water pressure because he was saying the Democrats were like stopping the water pressure, and he likes a lot of water pressure for his luxuriant, I think he said luxuriant, I don't know, his hair. So let's let this brother break down this Michigan rally.
exists. I'm talking about so broke they can't livelihood, stole your rights, kidnapped your neighbors, defunded your institutions, put the full weight of the state behind bigotry, but at least he saved the showers and the gas stoves. Nothing captures the dehumanization of capitalism like talking about saving showers and gas stoves. Meanwhile, your average American can't even afford to live or exist. I'm talking about so broke they can't even pay attention. They're attacking our free speech. They're attacking our free speech. That's what they were saying for the last administration. Right now, he'll turn ICE and a whole bunch of other folks on your ass if you're saying speech that he don't like. They ban books in this country in the classroom before they ban guns in the country in this classroom, and that's just very emblematic of what this country is. Education is elevation, and goddamn Trump.
Facts. It's facts. MAGA is such hypocrites. It's like, yeah, freedom of speech, freedom of speech. And the minute somebody writes something, he gets upset and he wants to deport them, right? Or if you're a college and you are teaching something that he doesn't like, or you're hiring someone that maybe have wrote an article, or if they're Black, he's trying to control what you do. So kudos to Harvard and those other schools that are fighting back. And not only is the institution of Harvard fighting back, Harvard's professors are like, listen, I will give you, I forgot the percentage, 10% of my salary or whatever they're doing, but they're giving money to help Harvard stay the course, because with Trump, you have to stay the course. You cannot buckle. You cannot show weakness to a weak person, because that makes them feel stronger. Understand? So speaking of bending the knee and how he's, the freedom of speech, let's listen to this man from 60 Minutes talk about what's going on with the media, right? And like, it is not just 60 Minutes, it's a lot of media. If you notice how they have to report, how they have to talk to Trump, it's by design, because you cannot say anything bad about him because he's a baby. So let's listen to this.
It was hard on him and hard on us, who until this past week was executive producer of 60 Minutes. He was our boss. Bill was with CBS News nearly 40 years, 26 years at 60 Minutes. He covered the world, covered combat, the White House. His was a quest to open minds, not close them. If you've ever worked hard for a boss because you admired him, then you understand what we've enjoyed here. Bill resigned Tuesday. It was hard on him and hard on us, but he did it for us and you. Stories we pursued for 57 years are often controversial. Lately, the Israel-Gaza war and the Trump administration. Bill made sure they were accurate and fair. He was tough that way. But our parent company, Paramount, is trying to complete a merger. The Trump administration must approve it. Paramount began to supervise our content in new ways. None of our stories has been blocked, but Bill felt he lost the independence that honest journalism requires. No one here is happy about it, but in resigning, Bill proved one thing. He was the right person to lead 60 Minutes all along.
So here's the thing. There's a merger, and this is what Trump does. And it's like, he's just owning people, right? It's like, oh, you're with Paramount Studios, 60 Minutes. Oh, you're trying to do a merger. You need our approval now, don't you? We're going to need you to tamp down on, your journalists there that are reporting on me because I don't like it. This is what's happening, right? Like, this is exactly what's happening. And that's why you saw a few of those law firms just like bend the knee and be like, oh, okay, because he's like, hey, if you don't give us some free work, some pro bono work, give me a certain amount of hours, then you cannot get into these federal buildings to work your cases if you have federal cases. Like, imagine a president, like literally the president is blackmailing colleges and universities, the media, and law firms. Like, he really is trying to run the world on all cylinders. You have to fight back. The people have to fight back. This upcoming election, and I know we got a ways to go, but you cannot afford to sit it out. We have to make changes. This is getting bad. Do you think that he is going to stop at like brown American citizens? It's not going to stop there. They are looking for other countries to have to jail more people. He has just given police the green light for more police brutality. Don't you worry. You killed a black man. Don't you worry. We got these law firms over here that promise to do work for me, or I won't let them in the federal buildings, so they're beholden to me. Don't you worry. We got some good law firms, some good lawyers on tap waiting to defend you if you kill a black man. So don't you worry about that. Do what you need to do to protect and serve. Kill a black man having a mental break. Hey, self-defense. Put your knee on his neck for friggin' 2 hours. Self-defense. Don't you worry. We're going to take care of you. If it's a federal crime, we're going to pardon you. Think about it. We're going to have to start really, really thinking about the midterms. Get a plan. Make sure that you are registered to vote. Like, you might as well do this shit early. You might as well get your kids registered early. Like, get it in their heads, because this is not going to get any better. This is going to get worse. If you're feeling like this first 100 days feels like 100 years, where do you think we're going to be at after 2 years? Like, we're all going to, like, I'll probably come back in 2 years with a head full of gray hair. Like, all of it's just going to be gray. It's just going to be white. Just white hair. He's like sucking the joy out of people. And MAGA are too stupid to know that what they're feeling is not joy. It's just hatred. They just hate everybody. That's not joy. That's why they friggin' age like spoiled milk. Because it's just hate and racism. That's not joy. Anyway, couple more clips. There was a few more that I wanted to show, but I guess I'll get to those next week. I wanted to show this. I don't know what this was. I don't know if it was a town hall, it looks like, with Stephen A. Smith, whom I don't like, and some other people and some people in the audience, and Trump was on the phone. Yeah. If you haven't listened to this, yeah, pay attention.
They're basically talking about is they're asking what Harvard. What they're basically talking about is they're asking, what do you say to those who view your actions as an attack on academic freedom rather than a defense of fairness? What do you say to that?
Well, I say this: we had riots in Harlem, in Harlem, and
he said, "We've had riots in Harlem." What was the question again? Let's just go back and listen to the question.
about Harvard. What they're basically talking about is they're asking, what do you say to those who view your actions as an attack on academic freedom rather than a defense of fairness? What do you say to that?
Well, I say this: we had riots in Harlem, in Harlem, and frankly, if you look at what's gone on, and people from Harlem went up and they protested, Stephen, and they protested very strongly against Harvard. They happened to be on my side. You know, I got a very high black vote. You know that. Very, very high black vote. It was a very great compliment to me. I did criminal justice reform. I did opportunity zones for one of the greatest economic deals ever for the black and Hispanic community. I got tremendous. They agree with what I'm doing with respect to Harvard. Harvard gets.
So, not sure how they could sit on that stage and not laugh at that. No MAGA should ever talk about Joseph Biden again, because that right there is wild and is not getting enough media play, because what is wrong with him? He asked him about Harvard and he started talking about Harlem. And it kind of reminds me of, so at my law firm, there's a woman and she doesn't see you, right? Every black face is just a black face to her. Like a brown face, you're just brown, right? So like she doesn't even pay attention. She just calls you the other black person. Like that's just because you'll walk by, it's just somebody black walk by. So it's just got to be somebody that's black, right? Like, so that's kind of how she operates. That's what that reminded me of. It's like he asked about Harvard, but black man asked a question, he immediately goes to like riots in Harlem and black people. You know what I mean? Like, because I'm wondering if the white men asked him that same question about Harvard, if he were to start talking about Harlem and everything that he has done for the black community, which is nothing. He keeps saying that he got all these black votes. He did not. What did he get? Like 8%? That, I don't know. How's that a lot? What is he doing for black people? I don't know. Let's see. Racism? Getting rid of like black history, black artifacts out of black museums, getting rid of like Jackie Robinson, like he did that. Like what are you doing for black people here? Like what are you talking about? You're even saying, didn't he say like Black History Month wasn't a thing anymore and they couldn't celebrate it? And the federal government, like they're literally searching and finding the word black and getting rid of anything associated with it. So, but he's still out here saying he did the most for black people. He went right up to the line. He didn't say police have full immunity. He did not say that, but he did say like, hey, do what you want. We got your back. So what do you think that means? Who's that going to disproportionately hurt? Yeah, the blacks, the people that he said he's done more for. He doesn't even have them in his administration. He had one, and that's the urban guy, because again, that's how his brain works. His brain works with black urban, black Harlem, black riots. You see where I'm going here? So the one black guy is in the urban department, the housing and urban development. We don't see him ever. Don't see him. There's no black people in his cabinet. Where are they? Because he said that black people are DEI. So he thinks that black people are not qualified to be in his cabinet or to work in government. That's why he doesn't have any. But then he wants to sit on TV with dumb fuck Stephen A. Hill, shaking his head like what he's saying is true, and knowing that motherfucker did not even answer the question. But the thing with Stephen A. Smith, I called him Stephen Hill. I apologize. Stephen A. Smith is the thing about Stephen A. Smith is that this, right? He wants to get close. He wants to get in proximity, because once he gets into proximity, he is an analysis on Fox News. Now you see what he's doing. Now he's maneuvering himself into like politics. Like he knows what he's doing. He knows what the fuck Trump is, but he gonna act like the Byron Donalds of the world, like the Tim Scotts of the world, like this motherfucker's not a racist pig. Like it's different when you have money. I don't know. So in closing, let's listen to the person that I voted for and that I would vote for again. So after 100 days, she has come out, and she has come out strong, and she has come out hitting, and she is holding no punches, and she's telling it like it is, and she is just as inspiring as she was before this election. So let's give it to Kamala.
As ever. Organizing is as important as ever. Mobilizing is as important as ever. Running for office is as important as ever. So please, everyone here, please keep doing what you are doing. And to everyone, let's lock it in. Lock it in. Gear up for the hard work ahead. And please, always remember, this country is ours. It doesn't belong to whoever is in the White House. It belongs to you. It belongs to us. It belongs to we, the people. Thank you. God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you all.
The nerve of MAGA. Like the nerve of MAGA. You go from that bumbling fool who gets asked about Harvard, who starts talking about Harlem. He goes to Michigan. He's talking about gas stoves and water. That's who y'all voted for instead of Kamala Harris? That woman who we just heard has a degree in economics, who told us that those tariffs were going to be a recession. The Black woman who said, I want to have a plan to stop price gouging. That woman who wanted to help people own homes. How y'all doing? Y'all getting homes right now? How? Trump ain't talking about it. He never did. Trump wants you to have more babies, white ladies. Kamala was trying to work on lowering the cost of daycare. Oh no, she laughed funny. So now you got this illiterate idiot who cannot run government, who has our economy shrinking after being given a booming economy. No, couldn't vote for the Black lady, could ya? Now we have all these federal workers who have been fired. People we needed in government. They weren't wasteful. He fired the inspectors, the people who actually were looking for waste in government. Those people got fired. Why? Because we couldn't have those people looking at Elon getting all those government contracts. Firing left and right. How does someone care about you if they're getting rid of or defunding cancer research, but giving bonuses to ICE agents. Defunding, I don't know, just research. They're just defunding all of the research, cancer research, child cancer research, leukemia research, Alzheimer's research, just everything. They are defunding it. But we're giving money to ICE agents because, oh shoot, how many brown people did you gather up today? Did you go to those hearings? They've stooped to tricking people, sending people letters. People here with their on visas, sending them letters. Good news. We have good news about your application. Come on down. Then they get arrested when they come on down and they get separated from their families. Deporting women, husbands are here and their kids. Deporting women and their kids, husbands here. Deporting husbands, women here and their kids. Like, it's just so haphazard. It doesn't even make any sense. That's why they're literally getting caught up, Americans caught up in this mess. That's what you voted for instead of Kamala Harris? Well-spoken? With a plan? Just all of the plans. No concept of the plans. Just all of the plans. Now we got this fucking shit for 4 more years. A shrinking economy. We're on the verge of a recession. Social Security is about to fucking be depleted. He's getting rid of all of the fucking immigrants who are working. Who the fuck is gonna pick your fruits? Who's gonna do that? Without the immigrants, we can't. With the immigrants, there are jobs that aren't being filled. That's with them. So now you take them away. Who's going to work these jobs? Is that why you need to have the babies? How long is that going to take to put them in these jobs? They're like, oh, we got to bring manufacturing back to America. Who's going to work in the factories and for how much money? Because I'm pretty sure there's no one going to be in a factory making Nike, the soles on a Nike for $2.75. No one's doing that. So who's paying people $15 to work in a factory? Not one factory, because how many factories are we going to have to do everything here made in America? MAGA don't think about this. They just don't. Like, this is a wreck. This is a fucking mess. And then we have enemies across the seas that used to be our allies. Oh, gosh, 100 days. Anyway, everyone, thank you for coming. Please don't forget to like, share this video. Baby Juggernaut, as always, thank you for joining the chat. I really appreciate it. I'm not going to hold you guys anymore. I have rambled long enough. My voice is going. Tomorrow is Friday. Happy Friday. I hope everyone does some great things. Get outside. Don't think about that orange ogre in the White House. I will see you guys on Tuesday on the Black and White Show with Brian Rundle at 7 p.m. Thank you, guys. Thank you, baby. Talk to you later. Trying to end the stream. It won't end. I don't know why it won't end.